On the quiet edge of a serene French town stands the forgotten splendor of an abandoned chateau. Once the home to Mr. George, Mrs. Nicole and their many children, this timeless landmark has fallen silent since 2016. The chateau's soul lies in its enchanting spiral staircase, whispering secrets of family memories. Among its treasures, we discover the frozen moment captured in a photograph, their son proudly standing on those magical steps. Inside, signs of their rural affection have lingered. Framed images showcase their adoration for the countryside. The rooms of the castle have retained remnants of its past glory. Priceless artifacts, ornate treasures, each telling tales of opulence and nobility. Yet, time's erosion left its mark, with decay and neglect reclaiming parts of the once majestic structure, casting shadows on the faded grandeur. My friend Martin and I went on a 5-day quest through France to unearth abandoned treasures and stumbled upon this forgotten jewel on our journey's final end. Today we take a peek inside as one of the few and share this historical marvel with you. Today's journey takes us back to early 2021, when I made a 5-day road trip through France, accompanied by my friend videographer, Martin Snook. In this end of the year special, we showcase the behind the scenes of our explorations and top it off with a unique abandoned castle that we managed to find on day 5. Our expedition on the first day starts in a woodland, a mere hour outside of Paris. Stories go that an elusive dwelling stands hidden deep within these woods, its vacancy spanning numerous years. Half an hour into our hike, the forest began to divulge its secrets. Emerging amidst the foliage, a structure emerged. Initially promising, this appeared to be a remnant of a once resplendent house, now a mere shell marred by the devastating aftermath of a fire. Despite initial disappointments, we found out the actual house we were looking for was another one. Astonishingly, the entrance to this derelict abode lay open, inviting our exploration. Amidst the debris, remnants of the past, and scattered documents bearing the name of its erstwhile owner, Mr. Roberts, awaited discovery. So this is a room I've actually seen on the photos and made me wanted to come here. I think it's the only untouched and pristine room inside of this place. Still plenty of books on the shelves. There is a little heater over here. Well, little. It's actually fairly big. The sombrero head right next to it. Chair over here. Beautiful upholstery design. And like I said, plenty of books on the shelves. Mostly just look like reading books. This one's about science and chemics. Also look at the suitcase over here. It's emptied out. They also had a little fireplace right underneath the bookshelves. This was another reading book, like you can see, just with some stories. I actually quite like the cabinet over here, especially the top of it. Still some plates inside. I think the place is definitely abandoned for a longer time already. You could see the other outbuilding was severely decayed. Oh, there are some old photos of the former occupants. Over here. Maybe it could have been the son of the past occupants. Looks like he was a pilot. Was this the house back in its days? I'm not sure. Some child photos as well. Yeah, I think furthermore the place is not spectacular. That's why I'm just filming a quick walkthrough. Just to show you, I think that's one only sombrero room. Furthermore, the place is mostly empty. Well, there is still a tiny bedroom over here. Typical French bed. I always really liked them. Again, even some more books, so the people definitely liked reading. Oh, quite a cute kitchen. Oh, still plenty of their cutlery is inside as well. Some soup. There is actually still more left than I expected, but another tiny room over here. I think this was more like a working part and also a washing part. Over here is the sink, and then over here the drying rack on which they would actually dry their clothes and squeeze them. Some tools and amenities over here. I mean, the place is not bad, but you probably understand my point if you've seen all the other places on the channel. The only thing I want to see still is actually the upstairs, because I saw that there was a staircase going up right over here. So let's check that one out and just give it a go and see what's left behind in the upstairs rooms. Oh, that's strange. So you can walk up these stairs and you can walk up these stairs. Let's first check these ones out. Whoa! Look, there's still a working part over here, like a little desk. Also with some nude photos of naked women on top of it, so I'm not going into detail about that. Over here they has a little radio, still with the old cassette records inside. Some coats over here. And this part is unfortunately vandalized. You can definitely tell that local people found out about the place as well. There is some graffiti sprayed inside, which I just hate. Let's check out this side. Actually quite like the wooden staircase in a spiral shape. Yikes. It's a bathroom with a lot of dirt, some mice droppings as well. There was still a pair of shoes on the ground. The place was quite big. From the outside this looks like just a little house, another outbuilding, but there was many rooms. Way more than I expected. Oh. This was another bedroom, again with some books. They obviously loved reading. Plenty of rooms which are still furnished on this floor. Over here on the desk there is many child photos. But again, you can tell, sadly enough, that it's been touched by many people. Just in search of valuables. Which always really saddens me. This was just a toilet area. Oh, I've seen a similar room like this before, with this shape of the door entrances and then two bedrooms on each side. And over here it's actually the same case, look. Over here was a bedroom. Over there was the wardrobe with plenty of clothes actually thrown out outside of the wardrobe. There were some comic books and children books, so I think the people who lived there definitely had little children. Or maybe grandchildren coming over. Then I actually really like this bedroom. I think it's my favorite one. Because have a look on the design of the bed. It's very unique. Like those bamboo shaped sides. I've never seen a bed like that. It's not real bamboo though. But it's definitely some strong material. I also like this corner over here with the two bookshelves on each side, and then again some old photos. The name of this boy was Jean-Marie Marcel. This might have been him in his later days. could be possible, or it was the father of this boy. Push dial phone over here. Oh, and then look at the wardrobe over here. It's actually been built in the same style as the bed that you see in the reflection over here of the mirror. There's still a cabin side of Reebok. Just some other clothes, some towels. This is actually bamboo. What is it doing in the wardrobe? That was just literally a drawer which is on top of here. Feels empty. Yeah, well, long story short, I definitely do not regret that we actually decided to take a peek at this place. It turned out to be pretty cool to start this road trip with, but right now it's time for the real deal. Let's head over to the grand place we're gonna explore, and I hope you enjoy it. Unfortunately, that grand place didn't work out, so we arrived at our hotel for the night, and it was time to prepare for a new day of exploration. Awakening to a promising morning, luck seemed to favor our start of the second day's expedition. We ventured out, guided by satellite imagery, in search of new forgotten treasures. Our first find held a promising sight. A weathered French Peugeot car greeted us at the entrance, hinting at the potential of a well-stocked home. Exploring the basement garage revealed remnants of a bygone life. Bottles of wine, a lawnmower, and scattered remnants. Ascending to the living quarters, decay greeted us. Black mold adorned the wallpapers, a stark contrast to the vintage treasures strewn about, like the West German decay 4D camera nestled in a corner. Bedrooms bore the marks of previous visitors, with signs of abandonment and neglect evident throughout. The living room was a haunting spectacle, displaying scenes of apocalypse amid decay. Surprises awaited in unexpected corners. A bathroom and a cash register concealed within the attic solitudes. We captured this place through photographs and said goodbye to this house, now bearing the name the Moldy Mary House, anticipating the mysteries awaited at the next site. In between locations, we made a pit stop to do some sightseeing in a local village that we passed on our route. Lost in the serene embrace of countryside solitude, we stumbled upon our next destination, a remote farmhouse. Fate gifted us an unexpected encounter. A lone girl, much like us, an intrepid soul exploring abandoned places completely by herself. In a spontaneous union, our trio set forward to explore the remainder of the day together. The farmhouse's main corridor lay in disarray, yet the first room we entered held a captivating scene. A perfect arrangement of shoes and boots, remnants of the erstwhile inhabitants, stood silently side by side. Beyond the remnants of the kitchen's last dishes, the house revealed one more treasure, a singular room enchanting in its simplicity. A rocking horse, a proud piano, and a stately fireblaze adorned the space, the narrative of a bygone era preserved within its walls. As a team of 3, we continue to trip on a mission to uncover more tales whispering through abandoned spaces. Not far from this farmhouse, I knew about another tiny abandoned cottage that I already had on my to-do list for quite a while. The invitingly open windows at the back side beckoned us inside. At the main entrance, all keys still hung perfectly on their hook. Inside, the cottage revealed 3 intriguing rooms. The dining room and kitchen were adorned with trophies and sewing threads left by its former inhabitants, including a classic Singer sewing machine. Adjacent, a few jackets hung on a coat rack. The remaining space unfolded into 2 bedrooms. After capturing some photos, we turned to the outbuildings, mostly filled with mundane work tools, devoid of any remarkable discoveries. The last location for the day was a revisit to the mansion of the movie maker that I already documented for the channel 3 years prior. Check the full video out by clicking on the link on the right edge of your screen. Accompanied by the girl and my friend Martin, we were all eager to explore it, and I was curious to see what had changed after 3 years. Once home to Mr. Lambert, a screenwriter in later years, who grew up in a humble family. His fight for justice after a screenplay theft from James Cameron's 1994 film True Lies led to the mansion's acquisition. Mr. Lambert's cherished quote is still painted on the walls. Only dead fish follow the currents, a reminder of his triumph. I talked with the girl about the history of the mansion, and I closed some shutters again to preserve its neglected aura. The bathroom is stunning, and equally is the living room, where I decided to relax for a while. Happy to see minimal changes over the years, we left this place again, said goodbye to the girl that we never saw again since, and after seeking food and lodging, we prepared for the 3rd day of urban exploration. The following day proved less fortunate than the previous, and after multiple failed attempts to visit abandoned locations earlier that morning, we finally stumbled upon this tiny French chateau nestled in an obscure town. An open door hinted at nature's reclamation. Despite vandalism's mark throughout the place, remnants of history lingered within. Downstairs, we found a decrepit piano and a dining room, a vestige of its former grandeur. A framed diploma from 1903 of the Republic of France still stood on the sideboards, whispering of the past. The upstairs floor revealed worse decay. It featured a series of bedrooms, one sheltering one of the most exquisite four-poster beds we found to date. A priceless relic, now in a state of dilapidation. Signs of leaks and mold on the ceilings testify to the neglect. The attic, cluttered but still adorned with a few artsy frames, was our final discovery. Departing in search of more abandoned places, our pursuit proved fruitless. We did a few more check locations that turned out to be empty, and concluded our day by the serene French coast, the day's explorations etched in our memory. As the penultimate day of our journey unfolded, we set off toward a colossal abandoned castle, a place I knew little about. To reach this place from an inconspicuous angle, we maneuvered through a mucky waterlogged farmer's field, mud clinging to our shoes from days of rain. So we're still looking where we exactly have to go. Currently we're literally walking in the middle of a field and we're walking downhill. We haven't captured a glimpse yet of the actual castle, but I think it is about to follow in a few minutes. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. It's amazing. Abandoned places that are allocated in such a rural environment are, in my opinion, actually the best ones, because I also just love the adventure in which you actually have to go to the places. Yeah. So just look at this. All around us we are literally surrounded by farmers' landscapes. It's unreal. There's not a single house to be seen in our proximity. Unbelievable. Okay, so we will get muddy feet because we have to walk through the middle of the field to actually reach this castle inconspicuously, but it's literally filled with water. So my feet are entirely soaked. We crossed the field and we are very close to nearing the property right now. It is exciting. Never saw a photo, a video, nothing of this place. I don't know anything about it. I'm very excited to get to know what this place is like. Oh, behind the bushes over there, I already see the first castle tower. So one part of the castle is a room, one of the outbuildings, like you can see over there. And that is the actual castle. And it is magnificent. Wow. I love this place already. Look at the outside. Wow. This castle is literally located right next to a river. You're probably not able to see it very well right now, but on the drone shots which I'm about to make, you will definitely see it. Okay, so we climb down and we are literally on the back side of the castle right now. Wow. Have a look at its size over there. This is mind-blowing. What a gorgeous place. Wow, 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 wow. I really hope we can find an access, that there is still stuff inside. Surprisingly, accessing this castle was straightforward. Inside, however, we found a clutter of debris, dismantled furniture, and signs of renovation. The views of the remote surroundings of this castle from the upstairs window were still very magical. Despite its spectacular exterior, the interior fell short of our expectations. Yet, the staircase held a particular charm, and a stunning stained glass window adorned the space. Leaving the castle behind, we trekked back to our car, eager for one more promising potential location identified through satellite images. A forgotten car, now entangled in vines, marked the entrance to a grand house. Unfortunately, this property turned out to have been used as a shed in its last days and was now entirely stripped and empty. Undeterred, we ventured forth, little knowing that the same evening would unveil our most remarkable discovery yet. As dawn broke the next morning, we returned to this astounding chateau with a mission to document it in its faded glory. Good morning everyone from the beautiful country of France. And today, it's that time again. I have a magnificent place to show you, and it's a castle. I'm just walking down the spiral staircase, and this castle, it's unbelievable. I think I'm actually one of the first people to be inside and show this place. And to protect this place, I will not show you anything of the exterior of this castle. The castle was built in the 18th century, and still all its contents are left inside. The last residents of this place actually lived inside of the castle in 2016. And inevitably, because there is a family dispute going on, the castle has been abandoned now around 4 to 5 years. It's very sad to see that nature is slowly overtaking the place, slowly degrading day by day. You are starting to see presence of black mold somewhere on the ceilings, on the walls, the paint. There's a lot of damage, and yeah, just enjoy this place, because today I'm gonna share a gem with you again, and I cannot wait to explore it. So let's go. So I'm gonna start this fascinating explore. It was once the main entrance, the main hallway where the people of this castle would walk in every day. Once a place which was inhabited by
A French noble family is now nothing more than a ruin which is left unloved and where nobody seems to be looking after for. Over here on the table we have some tiny ornaments. Look at this little Egyptian bust. It was definitely from a pharaoh. Wow. Inside of the cabinets, literally everything is still left behind of the last residents. All their chinaware, their dishes. It's unbelievable. Let's close the cabinet again the way I found it. And then right next to the main door, there are still a few umbrellas standing. Well, I can tell you the province in France where we are in currently is definitely a province where there is often a lot of rain. It's not always the best weather here. Look at the wonderful stuffed chair here. Wow. Some beautiful carvings on the sides. You can tell it's upholstered. Wonderful antique chair. And I should not forget to mention the mirror, the design around it, and right above it, an incredibly detailed paintwork. Again, it's completely filled with plates and a lot of items from the former owners. There could have been some jewelry inside of this heart-shaped case, but I think most of the things have already been stolen, not by explorers, but by burglars and people with wrong intentions. There's a cigar box. Even some more plates over here. And some rather modern ones. So I just found the first photo inside of a drawer while doing the research, and this could possibly have been the last resident of this castle. One of the doors at the main hallway was actually for storage, where they used to hang up their clothes and mostly their coats. Even a vacuum cleaner on the ground and a pair of shoes. And then there is other rooms. From the hallway we actually make our way through the first side room. I think this was a little living area. In this room the furniture is more modern, but there is this wonderful tiny chandelier on the ceiling. And again, it's very well detailed. I really like its golden color. You can tell the place has been abandoned around 2016 because of the more modern television as well. And these people obviously had pets. Maybe little dogs, or they had cats. Both are possible. I haven't found some animal photos yet, but maybe I will further in this exploration. One thing for sure, this castle is veritably untouched. Clearly almost nothing has been staged. Well, over there are some very modern photos of the last owners and his family, but I'm not going into detail because of respect of the privacy of those people. So then we're gonna make our way through the castle kitchen. But first, on my right hand side there was a toilet and a very, very tiny bathtub. And just a little bathroom. Now have a look. The kitchen is pretty modern as well, but you can still see the old ornaments. All the copper pans are still there, hanging on the ceiling. And those pans are the typical pans we often find in the castles. You know you're filming a good castle if you enter a kitchen like this and still see the pans pristinely hanging up. There is also a toy car of a child. So maybe the people also used to have little children. Still a lot of their kitchen tools and equipment. A lot of cutlery inside. And over here is even more. It's all wonderfully detailed. Might even have been some silverware, because it feels quite heavy. Well, when we entered, the drawers and the cabinets were all just widely opened. But just out of respect of this place, I'm gonna close them. Because that's how it used to be one day, when the place got left ever since in 2016. If I can, though. Well, over here you can see a microwave. There are still some bottles of water as well, so I'm curious for an actual expiry date. Let's check it out. Where it is. So the expiry date is 2017. In general, water has a quite long expiry date of about a year or two. So yeah, I think the place definitely was abandoned around the beginning of 2016. Underneath their chimney you can still see the furnaces. This once probably used to be a grand fireplace, but it was just renovated for the last residents. What I also really want to point out is all these ornaments on top. Absolutely wonderful. There are so many tiny items. Some candle holders, some plates. Also have a look at the ceiling. You can clearly see the presence of mold inside of the building. a very unique lamp. There in the fridge are some baby photos. So I think the former owners actually had children who got children, and these were their grandchildren. Fridges are emptied out. Oh, that's a very cute photo. And then from the kitchen, I'll actually want to take you to the more historic parts. You've seen a more modern part now, but the part I prefer is the part with the antique furniture, and that's this part. We can already see an antique chair right in front of us, which has again been wonderfully carved out. You can definitely tell by the size of these rooms what a grand place this once was, and in my opinion still is. The only thing which is sad is to see the considerable amount of decay. Looks like this was a little toy piano for a child. Oh, it's still working. I had to do this. And also look on top. There is definitely some severe leakage damage. Over there is even some mold growing. The pink-ish things you can see. And that's definitely not well for the state of this place. And then this wooden cabinet over here. Look how many glasses are still inside. It's just untouched. Not a single one seems to have taken out or destroyed. No, they're still all there. Even some Belgian beer glasses on the upper shelf. Oh, this was a box for some matches. These people definitely loved the life on the countryside, because that's actually reflecting in many of the little lists they have on the wall. Also, I should not forget to mention and point out this wonderful chandelier in detail. And then in front of me, I think, is one of the most wonderful rooms on the downstairs floor. Look how everything is still standing there. The big red carpet in the middle. I just love it. In my opinion, I think the French furniture is one of the best antique furniture. However, I also really like the Spanish and the Portuguese style. Again, plenty of decay and mold growing in. The thermometer. In the middle is a tiny table. Two different etage, and this was a marble plate. I think this used to be some incense, and those were some liquor bottles. The shiny diamonds over here. Well, if you think it will not get any more French, it will. There is a wonderful piece of French furniture, a 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗶𝗆. Was mostly used by people just to rest out and just to relax after a long day of working. Wow. What I noticed is that these people had a lot of plates, glasses and mugs, so I think there definitely used to be a lot of guests coming over which were invited to their chateau, like they say here in France. And then I read a modern lamp here in the corner again. I really like this cabinet, wonderfully painted with golden emblems. It has a little bit of oriental style as well, in my opinion. The sides are actually separately carved out. And then just look at this mesmerizing French clock with the carriage and the horses, with an angel playing on a horn right on top of it. It's just beautiful. We're definitely seeing some French history inside this place. The standing ashtrays also used to be very popular back in these days. And then of course, a French castle would not be complete without a wonderful marble fireplace and a giant golden mirror. Have a look at the size of this. It's just incredible. There is another wonderful clock in the middle, again with a horse ornament on top. It's just full of white mold. I can't believe that this wonderful antique furniture is just left to rot inside. The net is still in front of the fireplace and the tools as well. The only thing which I would expect and is missing is a bellows. And just to give you a little more of a detailed insight in the design of this mirror, just have a look on the sides. Wow. Right next to this ground room, they had a little outbuilding which was holding a lot of books, and also it was used for storage. Everything is made out of wood inside. Over here looks like a little medallion. This was a tiny watch with a very tiny display. I think these people definitely had good eyes and a good sight. There's a rosary inside as well. And again another medallion. Republic of France, it is saying. Where are some old postal stickers? And this is how we concluded the place was inhabited until 2016, because there is a calendar with the French macarons on it. Was probably a calendar from one of their favorite boulangeries, like they say here in France, which is the French word for bakery. And here in France in the morning, everybody goes to these local boulangeries just to get a nice croissant or a baguette. There's an old photo. Could have been a former family. There is a record player inside the cabinet over here as well. Oh, there's also some old bills over here. I still haven't found a family name. Oh, but over here I found it. It was actually Mr. George who lived there. And over in the letter I can see it as well. Mr. George. Well, there are some suitcases over here in the corner. And I think by then I've showed for everything on the downstairs. I cannot wait to go up the spiral staircase right now and show you the rest, which is left behind of this marvelous abandoned castle. Well, here we are at the point where I actually started this video. The wonderful staircase, the lamp on top, and over here was a tiny table. There's a radio. Pocket flashlight. Well, let's walk up the wonderful wooden staircase to make our way to another floor of this dignified building. Just have a look at the way it's designed. So there we are at the first floor. Well, this used to be that toilet. You can clearly tell that there is plenty of mold on the wall. There are some ornamental plates. Very old one, this one. 1900s. Oh my gosh, there are so many clothes inside of the wardrobes over here. It is literally overstuffed. All is just left unused. What a shame. Well, this room was definitely mainly used to do their laundry and ironing their clothes. There's also a little shower cabin over here in the corner. Over here was another part, and I haven't checked this out yet, but I think this is just one of the outbuildings, the castle tower, and if I walk down there I will just enter another door going to the outside. Let's just quickly scan it. Yeah, like you can see, that door is going to the outside. There is nothing more. Let's make our way to another room. And this one is again overstuffed with plenty of clothes, which are still hanging on all the coat racks. And I guess those are no cheap clothes, because over here I already see 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗆𝗏. So also definitely some designer brands. My gosh. That was the last donor standing in front of the main door of the castle. And those were plenty of medallions and things they collected. And what I just noticed is also unreal. Look how many black mold over there on the wall. Repulsive and very, very bad for your health. So to prevent too much exposure, I'm not staying in this room for too long. Yet over here was another tiny side part, but again, plenty of clothes. Also a fur coat, which was probably worn by the woman. And some towels right next to it. Well, the way we can see, these people had a dog, no cat. And this was the woman of Mr. George. There are so many shoes over there. All of them are just, again, filled with a layer of mold. On the naked eye, you would not think that this place is abandoned, but there is so much mold and everything, which is definitely telling that this place is already vacant and neglecting for several years at least. And that's mainly due to the leakage damage. But now comes my favorite room inside the castle. This is a grand abandoned bathroom. But firstly, I will give you an overview. Look at the beautiful pram in the middle over here. I really like it. There's also still some dolls inside. Look at it. Oh, this one is slightly creepy. The big black eyes. And also look at the scream mask over there. Was probably used for Halloween. Some very random items and ornaments here. To me, this looks like something African. I guess this little side room was mainly used for storage. Oh, this was all definitely from a little child. I think this was a child with Mr. George. Yeah, it is. And look where they are sitting. In the room I filmed on the downstairs, with the wonderful clock with the horses on top of it. This was them. They were raising up a little one, a little child. And I guess that this was the bedroom of that little child. Imagine that. And this child must still be alive. At least that's what you would expect, in case nothing bad happened. Oh, I really like this African ornament too. I've never seen it before. Nothing inside of here. There is another calendar from 2015. A painting which was made on the coast. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look, this was their child when he was older, and he's standing at the wooden staircase where I actually walked down while I was doing my introduction, and still the same lists are hanging on the wall like it used to be one day, probably over a decade ago, when this place was still being lived in. I always love to see the before-after photos because it gives you a strong awareness of how this place once looked back in its days and how much it has changed in contrast with that. Well, some empty photo books. Over here is another name, Nicole. So I think the woman's name was Nicole. The man's name was Mr. George. And I think they had one son. And I guess his name started with an M, because that's what written on this little notebook over here. And this was an agenda, a diary from 2015. A hat there on the bed. Beautiful embroidered artwork. Looks like carnival. People partying, playing music. This was another child photo of him, the boy we've also seen on the photo on the staircase. And I really like this photo as well. I think that was also him when we were still younger. Now look at the paintwork on the ceiling, which is literally slowly all falling down on the floors. This is just incredibly sad. And I sincerely hope somebody will fix up this place before the decay is too severe and it will be too late to rescue this place without it being too costly. last room I want to show you in this floor is another bedroom. And this might have been a bedroom of the couple. Still a box where there used to be some expensive jewelry inside of designer brands, 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝘆𝗶. Unfortunately, it's all stolen, I assume. Very funny. This cabinet was stuffed with a sheet. There is another wonderful mirror over here. Still some gloves on top of the fireplace. This was a hanger for one of their coats or suits. I think this was from Mrs. Nicole to do her grooming every morning. Apply all her makeup in front of this neat vanity over here. This definitely used to be one of those feathers where they used to ride with. And next to their bedroom, they had this bathroom. It's very wide. With the pink towels on the ground. A mirror over here in the corner. And he had a fairly big shower. The mold over here looks repulsive. And slowly it's all making its way inside. It's literally on top of the electricity switch. And then finally time has came to go to the final floor. One last glimpse of the spiral staircase. And we're going to make another level up. Wow, I think this was a very old photo in this actual castle a few generations before. You can see the woman sitting in front of the vanity and she seems to just be thinking about life. That's just amazing. I think this final floor once used to be the quarters for the servants a few generations before. I think in its last days it was mainly used for visitors and guests when they used to sleep over here. Because the family was actually not that big. And that's maybe also one of the reasons why the son is not really caring about it anymore and is not willing to put money inside the building and to renovate it, because they might not want to live on such a large scale. And the property is just too sizable for them. A Venetian mosque ornament over here. And those are in general just some simple and modern bedrooms, so yeah, not very much to talk about in close detail. Oh, over here was actually their storage and an attic part as well. Maybe we will find some very antique furniture on top of there. I really want to check it out. Let's go. Doesn't feel very stable anymore. Well, a lot of things have been stuffed in these garbage bags over here. But there is not very much to be found. My expectations were higher, to be honest. Let's go back down again. One thing I do really like is this beautiful wooden bathroom over here. And it's made in one of the outside towers of the castle. Oh, that's a wonderful bathroom. I really like it. Very unique. Definitely modern too, but I still really like it. Now walking down the corridor. All the doors with the white and the blue have also definitely been painted. Not in the original state it was one day. Not a bad room. Definitely looks like this was another child room. Maybe they had more children because I also see two girls over here in the picture. A wonderful sleigh bed. Also quite some modern photos again, so I'm not gonna point them out. Many children toys. Always makes me quite sad. But for the people watching right now for not the first time, probably already know. Oh my. And look at this room. The ceiling is in a bad state of disrepair. The dirt is just all falling on the bed over here. Seen this one multiple times before now. You could zip it and close it, and they put clothes inside of it. So it was a little mobile wardrobe. And then finally the last room inside this castle was actually serving for storage. You see some Christmas decoration, a game of darts there. And this was actually the right wing of the castle with the tower. And lastly, we can actually capture a glimpse on the wedding photo of Mr. George and Mrs. Nicole. And it seemed that this was even inside of their castle. That was them. And with this beautiful couple having shown, I really want to take my time to thank these people for exploring their wonderful historical landmark today here in France. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope you enjoyed seeing another wonderful castle in France as well. And if you did, then you already know the drill. Please don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. You can subscribe to our channel right down below for free. And also do not forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section right down below. If you want to support us on all these travels, because these trips are pretty costly, please consider checking out our Patreon page or a PayPal link in the description down below. And then as always, I want to thank you for watching, and we will see you on another epic adventure next week. Bye bye and peace out.